If you saw me create this arrangement, then I'm going to redo it in a different container with a little bit more of a modern style. Stay with me and see what I can create. So welcome back to today's tutorial. This time I'm going to recreate that Hogarth Curve with the same flowers. I might need a little bit of extra greenery. I'm going to recreate it in this more modern style of container. This comes from Tesco. It's one of the Mrs Hinch containers, and this time I'm going to use some wire netting, what we often refer to as chicken wire. And I haven't yet filled my vase with water, only because I want to tip it forward. So you can see I've kept the wire mesh below the edge of my container. Now the only difference with this one, or maybe one of the differences, is that I can't do the S shape coming down through the middle because I don't have any height in the middle where my wire mesh is. So this time my lazy S is going to come almost horizontally across the middle. But it's a style that's very fashionable at the moment and is seen a lot in wedding bouquets, table centres, pedestal stands in the church. And it's basically a very loose version of that traditional design I did in the previous video. So I'm going to start by adding my flower, my focal flower in at the front. I'm really going to create hopefully the same pattern but in a slightly different style. So my focal flower there is in the middle. I don't have the length of dahlias to make them any longer, but this side is going to be where the bottom part of that S shape is. So we're going to sort of come across this way and down. At least that's the plan. I don't want to use new dahlias because I want to show you how I can create a similar sort of design but with the same flowers. So this one is obviously my longer flower, which would have given me the height. And that's going to come off to one side. I'm just going to feed it very casually through the wire mesh. So I probably won't be able to get such a structured design. This is going to be looser and informal. This would have been the piece that would have been coming downwards. I can't create that shape today because I don't have any floral foam. So my S shape, you're going to have to use your imagination for a little bit. My S shape is going to come this way, across the middle and down on one side. And this is really when you need to have far more bend and movement in your flowers, and it's often where garden flowers are going to work much better than supermarket or florist foliage because it is very straight and very rigid. Okay, so let's take my foliage that I had in the previous design. This one is going to go upwards to try to start getting a little bit of a curve on one side. I need to remember to get my flowers and my foliage quite deep into the wire mesh so it reaches the water at the bottom, and not to bring anything horizontally across the wire mesh. It needs to go deep in, and that's really how a shape is going to be predicted, by the shape of your greenery at the very beginning. So these designs, if you're currently working in the wedding industry and you're creating this sort of vintage inspired designs, then you might have already created lots of this style of arrangement for bridal bouquets, table centres, and we're not going to get such a clear shape as we did with the previous arrangement, but we're going to look at it in a very, very different style. So not much of a crescent shape going on at the moment, but now I can introduce some of the longer flowers, and this is going to work really nicely over on what is the left hand side as you're looking at it. I've got a nice long piece here which can be placed on the opposite side, remembering that it has to be down low and not coming across the wire mesh. So we're now looking at a very sort of curved shape design with the same sort of characteristics as that first shape that I did. but with a look that is sort of very different. Right, so if I was using fresh pieces of flower, then I would probably be able to get ones that were a little bit more curved. But I'm going to continue with exactly the same flowers that I used before, so that you can really see the difference in shape that can be created. A little bit of flower down low, that draws your eye down. We've got three-dimensional, we've got that front and back to the arrangement. And now I can start introducing the Japanese anemones. What I might do at the end is, just to make it a little bit different from the ones before, I might extend the length of the arrangement so we get a bit more height and a bit more of an exaggeration of that S shape. What I don't want it to do is to look like a crescent shaped arrangement. But the Japanese anemones work really well to give us that curve. It's going to exaggerate the curve. I'm going to bring some to the back as well. I mentioned in the previous video that this is the type of arrangement where you really got to understand how the flowers work and how they grow, and whether or not you're going to get natural curves from them. So this is my final piece of eucalyptus that I used in the previous arrangement. Now I do have some of the Japanese anemones that are on quite a short stem, because of course they went into floral foam in the beginning. So what I need to be really aware of is that I fill this container right to the top so that these have access to fresh water. Oh, I'm just going to remove that anemone there from the front because it's a little bit damaged, and I'll pop this short stemmed one in instead. So we've now got an arrangement that has the characteristics of an S-shape arrangement. So we come in from this side and we droop down on the other side. But because I didn't have that foam in the center, I haven't been able to make the design wide enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to introduce some more fresh greenery so that I can extend the flower shape out on the side and make it more like a Hogarth curve. Remembering that I really need to have that extra length of greenery because I don't have any floral foam. So I'm going to do that same little technique. If you've got nice seasonal foliage, then it's going to bend quite happily for you. If the foliage is a bit older and the stem is more solid, then it's going to be harder for you to curve and shape without it snapping. But with a few longer pieces, I can now extend the outline shape of my arrangement, make it taller and a bit more in keeping with the shape and size of my container. This base isn't quite as dainty and as delicate as the first one I was using. So that allows me to go a little bit wider and a little fuller with the design. And with just those two pieces of eucalyptus, I've extended the arrangement out quite a distance and made a little bit more emphasis on that outline shape. So before I put the eucalyptus in on the ends, I'd used exactly the same as I had in that previous arrangement. But what I'm now going to do is add in some more dahlias to give me a little bit of extra height on the outside. My container is chunkier, it's visually a bit heavier, and I'm feeling that I need to extend out a little bit longer. So now we have that slightly longer version of the design I did in the original container, but I'm going to be very limited now to bring any more flower material on this side unless I choose a flower or a foliage that has a natural curve to it. So here's the finished design. It's in a much shorter, squatter container that's that has a little bit more of a modern feel. But I've still got a few dahlias left. So what I've decided to do is to make the design slightly longer on one side so you get that asymmetrical look, which is a bit different to the arrangement we've done before. But you can see how those skills that we learned in the previous design can be used in a different style of container and with a more environmentally friendly mechanics. So this is the stage we got to with the same flower content with a little bit of extra greenery to give us some height. So what I'm going to do now is add in some more flowers on the left hand side so that we get a bit of an asymmetric shape. You probably know that I love designs that are unbalanced on either side. So I'm just going to extend the height with one of the taller dahlias. It's just about coming into dahlia season here for us in the UK, so very soon we'll be able to use locally grown dahlias. These ones have been imported, and you can see that I'm starting to get a bit of resistance, and I'm starting to find it difficult to get the flowers into the mesh. Let's just turn that round so I can see what I'm doing. That's better. So make sure the flower is right the way down into the base so that it's got plenty of access to water. Generally, when you get to the stage that I am at now and I'm starting to have difficulty getting the flowers in, then that's normally a good indication that the wire mesh isn't going to hold up to any more flowers being added. But to give me a bit of weight at the back, I'm going to add a slightly shorter dahlia. That's going to help, again, give some actual weight to the arrangement so it doesn't tip forward. And then with the remainder of the Japanese anemones, I'm going to add a few extra in just to give us a little bit of extra height on that one side. I can't get any material on the shorter side to drape downwards because I don't have anything that's naturally cascading forwards. If I had some ivy, that would work really well, but I am going to make a point of getting this one side taller than the other. So that one's gone in quite nicely there on that side. I've got another piece of eucalyptus, which hopefully I'll be able to feed in the back, but I am now finding it very difficult to get the materials in. That's gone in quite well. Cut that one shorter, place it in at the back there, and I don't think I'm going to get anything else in the wire mesh there. It's completely full. By adding more flowers in, I'm just going to cause damage to the stems as I force them into that wire mesh. So what you've seen today is a design that's gone from a fairly symmetrical, evenly balanced take on the Hogarth curve to something that's a little bit more like a crescent or an L shape. So what do we think? Quite retro. That reminds me of Bridgerton and the Georgian period. So I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell if you want to be told every time I upload a new tutorial. Please ask as many questions as you want in the comment box below. It's lovely that you keep coming back time and time again to watch new videos. Thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.